We live?
Yes, we are live.
Awesome. Okay, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to COD Weekly. A nice little special, not really, not very nice, but it's just me and MrPropoutine, which I don't know. We'll see how it works. Not like Regions got uh holy shit.
Well, he got
If
ate. He got eaten
Regions
by a
got
giant group of sheep.
yeah, he's fine, but he just has some car stuff. He'll figure it out. But in his place, we have stats. And the docket for what's going on tonight in the COD League. So obviously the COD League is going on, but first I'm gonna let Mr. Propertine introduce himself in case you're new to the show. So go for
All
it.
right, guys, welcome. This is episode 3. I feel like this will be the episode where everything kind of goes, aside from host missing in action. I feel like this is going to be the episode that really shows what the quality of the show is going to be like. So, my real world name is Thomas, but nobody calls me that. Everybody just calls me Pro on the internet.
'Cause
Basically,
you're
I've been following competitive Call of Duty since the beginning of Black Ops 2. During COD Champs, I followed the run of Impact and just absolutely fell in love, and I haven't missed a live event since. I am now a referee in training for a tournament website. I'm going to be casting this weekend. I haven't done that since Black Ops 2, so it's an exciting time in competitive Call of Duty for me.
yeah. All right. I am Azumius. Everybody will need to call me Azumeus, which is incorrect, but whatever. It's a stupid name, anyways. Um, I have been involved in competitive Call of Duty since Black Ops 2. I've been playing Call of Duty since Modern Warfare slash Modern Warfare 2. I started actually playing in Modern Warfare 2 Black Ops. Um, Now I am not really playing as much. I'm more into the competitive scene, not necessarily playing it, but doing this. I absolutely love it. I'm watching streams pretty often. And I play, I'll hop on there. I'll hop on there tomorrow. You can watch that. Pro Team will probably be playing. Tomorrow you can hop on his stream too. Yeah. So that's me, I guess. So today we decided, not really we decided, but it was very impromptu. So you're also going to be able to see our improv skills today. Um, we're going to talk about the league a little bit. UMG just announced an AM league that they're partnering with. Crap.
PA.
PA, yeah, good call. Um, PA, so that's going to be pretty exciting for the AM teams. Obviously, we had Neil on last week, so I'd be surprised if if his team wasn't competing in that. Um, so it's going to be interesting because we have a lot of things coming up. So yeah,
Yeah, it's turning into a. It looks like Advanced Warfare really is going to be a great year of Call of Duty. I know there have been a few issues since the most recent patch. I know a lot of the pro players are complaining about Cloak and Stim even more and saying guns are now overpowered or underpowered and just all kinds of ridiculousness. But at the end of the day, the Call of Duty is still fun to watch. The pros enjoy playing it a lot more than they enjoyed playing Ghosts. And there is a ton of money that is going to be coming into Call of Duty esports last year. I don't know if you saw it last week, but Mr. Adam Acapella on Twitter, he tweeted out that he was talking to a major marketing company, and they said that $500 million is going to be moving into esports from his company next year. So that includes Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Halo, League of
that's
Legends, Dota.
that's pretty crazy. League of Legends, like, wait, is that just specifically for MLG or just for esports as a whole?
Uh, for the most part, MLG, but a lot of money is moving into esports as a whole.
Because I think something that Call of Duty needs to work on is League of Legends, like they release these DLCs, and all the money from those DLCs goes to the tournament. And I think that's
Yeah, and
something
the
that
prize
Call of
pools.
Duty, yeah, the prize pools.
Yeah,
I think that's
Smite's
something
done
that Call of
that,
Duty should
Dota's done
definitely.
that, League of Legends has done that. Yeah, it's definitely something to look at. Like Call of Duty, I mean, they were releasing all the weapon DLCs for Black Ops 2. If half of, or even 25%, 25 cents off of each one of those guns purchased, getting put into a prize pool, that would just raise the level of competition that much more because players are going to be grinding that much more.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I don't know, and also I think the under 18 rule is definitely something questionable because you see players like Slacked, players like Demented. I don't know how far he'd go honestly, but I was watching a YouTube video of his. That's why I thought of him. Methods, all those guys. What do you think about that under 18 rule?
Yeah, there are tons of extremely skilled players that, even right now, are either on teams that are worse than they deserve to be on, or are not on a team at all just because they are under 18, and most teams are looking towards champs right now.
Felony actually tweeted out that his birthday was a week after champs, and that's why he got dropped because he couldn't participate in champs, even though he was like a week under 17, which for like league or I'm guessing Activision said if you want our support behind this, you have to like not let under 18 people because it's rated M game, so that's just the truth behind it, and that's like not necessarily unfortunate, but it's unfortunate in this scenario where you have these talented players that can't like participate in such an event, but I don't know. It's definitely
Yeah,
something to look at.
it is, and the rated M. I don't know if it's the same down in the states, but it probably is. But the rated M, the way it works in Canada is if you're 17 years old, then you can buy it on your own. You just have to provide a piece of ID.
I think it's 18 for the US, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's probably why. It's because it is a rated M game, and it could be something legally as well. Like in Canada, the laws around giving away money to people under 18, even in competition, the rules are very strict. That's why the only event right now is in southern Ontario. It's because that's the only place that they legally can do it right now.
Yeah, isn't that like similar to the reason why Rambo got dropped from Optic in the originally? Because he couldn't participate in Frag Cup?
It very well could have been.
I remember watching Scump's video like recently because I have this weird obsession with going back to YouTubers' old videos because I just enjoy them. I don't know.
Oh, for sure.
I feel like, yeah. So, so Tipsy got placed back on AR. Is that correct?
That is correct.
What do you think about that? Because I think AR just got worse, probably. I understand that they're looking to champs, but it is what it is. Do you think they got better or worse?
I think they're remaining about the same. I think
Do you
that
think
they were
Felony and Tipsy are?
yes and no. I do think Tipsy is a really good player. I don't think he is a great player or a top player. I think if I'm sitting across, like, thank God for the soundproof booths now, because if I'm sitting face to face, right across the station from him, and he gets up and flexes and yells at me, I'm going, "Yeah, I'm sorry, please just take it. It's cool. You can. I just want to keep my teeth." But I do think Tipsy is a good player. I don't think AR got worse. I think AR. I still think they're gonna finish bottom of the league. They might squeak into the top 8.
There are 7 right now, if I'm not mistaken. 1 second. Let's look at that. If no wait. COD AW per league. No. Wait. They are 9. I guess they dropped down.
They're not. I
They're
think they're
9.
ahead of Team Caliber right now, though. So
Yeah,
they're
they are, but Team Caliber is 11, but that's bound to change because Cosdiff actually announced that they're getting a team house,
yep. I'm really
which
excited for that.
yeah, me too. Honestly, I'm so pumped because I think the content that they're gonna have is gonna be great. I think Goonjar is gonna get on that YouTube grind, and I'm so excited for that. He just seems like a charismatic person.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and I think something important about esports is having the ability for your players to reach out to the fans because I think that's one of the things that Optic does is they continue to push their players into getting that YouTube grind because it builds their fan base individually as well as a team, and I think that's something very important
Yeah,
because
that's definitely something every team needs to get on.
yeah, I think pro players I don't want to, but unless you're Aches, you're not making your living just on winning. So I'm sorry, it's the
Yeah,
truth.
it is.
Oh my God, Aches is he's a mad dog.
Yeah.
Did you see okay, not did you see? I'm just waiting for Aches to also get on that YouTube grind because I think once we learn more about him, uh he'll be a lot more likable. I feel like he's just been like too cocky over social media because that's what people like portray him as. So he was just like, okay, whatever, that's just gonna be me for now. And now that he's on phase, they told him to cool it there, so he did. And now he's kind of like, okay, well, what do I do now? And I think what he's going to do is get on that YouTube grind, and people are just gonna start liking him a lot more because all of FaZe really has gone into YouTube recently. When Karma was on there, he got into that YouTube grind a lot more. Apathy, he's got a great channel now. Sensor, obviously, he just reached 100K. Did you see his montage thing?
Yeah, I did. Well, it wasn't
Yeah,
quite as good as Scumpy's 1 million montage, but
yeah, oh, yeah. But I feel like players they try to like dumb it down until that like big milestone
yeah.
because they're like, yeah, we don't
I
want to
absolutely
make it too
love
big.
Apathy's channel. He's getting his mom to act in videos. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah. And so in other news, there have been a lot of COD amateur teams that have made changes. Also, we're going to talk about Elevate buying Noble, which I think some big,
It's
very big.
yeah, it was surprising to me that Elevate actually bought Noble, or that Noble sold their spot in their entire roster.
I think what I heard it was like money troubles, but I don't completely believe that. Mostly just for the reason that Noble has announced like 25 new teams. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but they've announced so many new teams recently. They've announced like I don't know Halo, but I know they've announced Dota 2, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Also, if you guys have any questions in the chat, feel free to ask those or tweet them out using the hashtag in the title, hashtag COD Weekly. I'm checking that constantly, so feel free to get on that.
okay. Yeah, I'm not too sure if it was money troubles or if they just wanted to get out of the COD scene after the whole end of last season situation. Just probably left a bad taste in their mouth. But the Elevate team, they're not doing too bad. They're 3-3 in the league now, so
Yeah, they're impressing me, honestly. I didn't think that they could do that well with the roster changes that they underwent before the league and going into Columbus because they were made to have impact. And the fact that they didn't have that may have also played a part in Noble selling them. I don't know. Because I think Noble bought them for the publicity that Impact brought
yeah,
because Impact has that impact on, no pun intended, on organizations. Like if you go on scuff.com, you'll see that their Farico scuff is still selling out, which is insane. Um, because Farico isn't really, it's still in the COD scene, but it's not as prominent as it was, obviously, when they had
I don't think they
Impact
have
under
an
their name.
actual pro team right now. They're just still kind of hosting the domain for all the AM players to get together.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's something that community needs, obviously. Kind of like for players to feel like they have an org under them. But speaking of orgs, Aware is going big in the league so far. They are impressing me to no end. They have an insane KD with just them. They have like a 1.19 KD altogether,
Yeah.
which is absolutely insane. And like they have um they've won or they've played 13 matches and they've won most of those. They're 4-0. So
So they
that means
must
that
have
they've
only dropped one map
yeah,
because they would have had to go 12-1.
yeah. Which is absolutely crazy when you think about it, but
Yeah, I think you called that. I think you called in last week's episode that you thought Aware was going to go big. I was doubtful. I figured they
I
would
mean
be middle
it's
of the
still
pack.
early,
It is,
obviously, but I don't
but
know.
them and
I'm
Justice come
excited.
out to a 4-0 start, and
Oh yeah, Justice is going big too.
that's definitely a wake up call. Everybody knew the Justice team was a good squad and was going to continue to be a good squad, but I think a lot of people did have their doubts about Aware, and now that they are starting to prove themselves, that it's good for them.
So both of the teams named Nation right now are not doing as well as people thought they would be doing. I mean, obviously after Columbus, people didn't have high expectations. People had high expectations of Optic Nation,
Yeah.
but that they expected that they would take it up towards the year. Are you thinking that it's still early for that expectation to just kind of be dropped and saying, "Oh, they're just not going to be a good team this year," or are you thinking that this is just it's a LeBron situation? It's just for the first couple of weeks.
Well, your basketball references go right over my head because I don't watch basketball.
Sorry, but LeBron, he's in Cleveland now for the first couple of weeks. He played like ass, or at least his team did, and now they're going off to a hot start. So
Got a 4-liter jug of juice.
it's Arnold Palmer. So
Optic Nation, I still don't see the team working. I just
still don't see it
before
working.
Columbus, I didn't think the team would work. Honestly, I'm surprised they finished as high as they did, but I don't think that's because of teamwork. I think that's just because each individual player is so skilled that that's the only reason why they got 7th, 8th in Columbus. I don't see
Do you
Optic
think they
Nation
can?
working. I think the only way to make that team work is to drop Embos. You either
I kind of agree with you. Unfortunately, they're not going to do that. So,
they're not going to do that, which makes you wonder what is going to happen to Optic Nation.
do you see them as a team being dropped?
Absolutely not. I see. This is
Do
my
you think
prediction. This is
Hex
my
is still behind
far-sighted
the idea?
prediction. Optic Nation is not going to finish top 8. They're not going to be guaranteed a league spot in the next season. The players from Optic Nation, I think TP and Karma, are both going to say, if this team isn't winning, then I'm not going to be a part of it. Thanks, Hex, but no thanks. I'm going to go to another team. And it's just going to fall apart. That is my far-sighted prediction.
I'm gonna say that. What's up, Knuckles? I'm gonna say that what happens is that Embos leaves if they don't win, and I'm just hoping that happens. Sorry, Embos. Um, and TP and Karma have the team built around them, and then they're fourth, which I cannot believe I'm blanking on this right now. That's embarrassing.
Proofy?
Um, Proofy, sorry. He's gonna yeah, okay. Get it
It's all
all out of
good.
your
It's
system
all
now.
good.
He's gonna stay, and they're gonna look for a fourth who's gonna be Fuke. So,
Huke, you think?
how old is he at? I know nothing about him because
Huke?
he's not
I
really
think he's like
out there.
16. Like
So there's no chance
he's
that.
yeah, he's 15 or 16. Like he's the young gun that just burst into the scene.
Yeah, he got picked up by
Stunner.
Stunner. Yeah. And then Carnage actually released their whole team after Hugh left. So
Yeah, the
this is
entire
all
roster.
happening. And I don't know. It's surprising to me, at least. And because I never really expected Hugh to leave, I kind of expected Carnage to build around him in a way. And just like, kind of just like say, okay, you know what, Hugh, we're going to give you control. Get the players that you want if you can. And I thought he was going to get some good, like, second, like, Saints, not Saints, and realize, and then probably grab someone like Assassin. And that could have been a solid team. I don't know.
It probably could have been a solid team. I think Stunner just was able to offer more than Carnage, and that's why Hugh left.
Oh,
Stunner
no doubt.
said, yeah, Stunner said, if you come stream on our channel, we'll give you a higher CPM. We can give you a $200 a month salary, and we can put you up in a nicer room when you go to hotels.
Yeah.
That's what I think Stunner offered, and Hugh,
Plus, they have a better team than what Hugh was playing with.
absolutely, like that's probably the biggest thing.
TJ Halley is his age, so
Yeah,
two young guns. And at least you're going into a team knowing that you're not going to be dropped, or at least benched, because you're not going to champs.
yeah,
And if you're watching and you're wondering why we're talking about champs so early, is because champs, like, players are playing in the league with champs in the back of their mind. Call of Duty Championships is basically the only thing that players think about this time of year.
yeah. For the first
And
half of
I
the
know
game,
that's, yeah, for sure.
yeah, the first half of the game, all it is thinking about Call of Duty champs. You want to build a team for Call of Duty champs because that's where all the money in Call of Duty is right now. You can go out and win every other tournament, every other major. You can go win Anaheim, Orlando, Columbus 2.0, Dallas, and you're still not gonna make as much money as you would if you went and won champs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And that's why you're seeing players like Methods, who's a solid player, he's good at this game, still not having a team. I mean, Methods, he's been the one of the top 20 at least players for the last 2 years, but he doesn't have a team because he can't participate at champs. And teams know that going in. So when Aware had them and they kind of their whole roster left, they were like, okay, that's fine. We're just going to take this team to Columbus. They qualified, which I don't think they completely expected. And now they're going into once they get to regionals and stuff, they're going into there thinking, okay, we're going to make it to Call of Duty champs, which is something big, I guess.
Yes. Uh, do you think there are any other surprises so far in the season? Like, do you think TK going 1-5 or Denial going 2-2? Do either of those really surprise you? Because I know Aware Gaming going 4-0 was kind of a shock to me, but
The
I'm
only surprise to me is that Optic isn't 3-0 and that Rise Nation is 0-5. Rise Nation, I know they lost Looney and Attach, but I feel like that team, like no matter what, and maybe this is just my perception of what Rise Nation is as a team, is they are people that shouldn't ever lose. And I think that's just because since all of Ghosts they were placing well and they've just always been doing well. So I think Rise Nation when they play the way that they are is just surprising to me at least. I don't know if it's surprising to you, but
I'm not really surprised that
plus
Rye.
Cheeto's not bad. Cheeto's not a bad player at all.
Not at all, but the team is still feeling each other out, and the league is just so good that I.
Oh
Because
yeah, out of the
Looney's, yeah,
three or
Looney's a
four
warrior.
leagues, four now, right?
Yeah, this is the fourth
This is
league
a
now.
fourth. Man, it's been a little while. But the fourth league, I think, is probably the most, or at least the best one that we've seen, just skill wise and player distribution wise. I know people are saying that Optic is a god squad and all that stuff, but compared to these other teams, I'm not really thinking that they are, honestly. Like you see Optic Nation, who's 1-4, even if they're not having teamwork, Karma can put up big numbers all the time, and he's not. I mean, he might be doing that, but he's not winning, so it doesn't matter if he's doing that or not. And then you've got TK, who's 1-5, and they have Looney, who is an absolute beast and a warrior, and they're 1-5.
They also
And
have
you have all
Sharp and
these,
Theory who can't play online though, because they both live out in the middle of nowhere with their dial-up modems. If somebody makes
yeah,
a
but
phone call within a mile, they're screwed.
yeah, but that I'd be more inclined to believe that if they weren't pros.
Well,
Like I believe that their internet is bad and probably worse than mine because I'm on East Coast. But they're pros, which means that they have internet that allows them to join lobbies.
they're pros that go to LAN events and prove themselves, and that is why they are pros. That is why Sharp is still playing the game. If Sharp was going to lands and outside of COD champs, Sharp hasn't finished out of top 8 in the past 2 years. Call of Duty champs was the only tournament that he finished outside of even top 8 or top 16. So Sharp can still play, and he plays well on LAN. When you watch him on you watch him play on his internet, it's painful to watch. He's out in the middle
Yeah,
of
I
nowhere
mean,
in Kentucky. He can still
he's
pub
still
stomp.
trying.
Yeah, he can pub
Yeah,
stomp on his internet, but when he's going up against guys who have fiber optic internet, he doesn't stand a chance.
yeah. Also, corrections, he hasn't placed top 8 since uh, MLT Nationals 2011, so it's all right. Just try not to make that mistake
It's all right.
again.
Sharp is better than I thought.
Yeah, it's no, I'm just kidding. But it's definitely been a while, or at least been a while since I Black Ops was my point .6 KD days. So
Oh, Black Ops One. Yeah,
I was
that
stuck
was
in
my
that.
first Call of Duty, and that was a rough one.
Yeah, no doubt. First Call of Duties is always the hardest. So what are you thinking of FaZe at this point? Do you think that they're playing the way that we thought they would after winning Columbus, or at least did you think that they would be playing better or worse than they are?
Well, I mean, it doesn't get much better than winning a tournament, so the only way FaZe has to go is down right now. They can either continue along winning first place tournaments, doing well in the league, and I think they're gonna continue to do that. I didn't think the team would work all that well at first, but just watch at Columbus, it was a privilege to watch and just to see how good Aches really is. Like,
He's the best player to touch the sticks.
yeah, it's insane. I always knew Aches was a good player. When he played with Complexity, he's been a top player since Black Ops, and he's won the first tournament of every COD since the dawn of time. It's amazing to watch him play. And while I didn't like him as a person during the run of Cole, I did respect him as a player. I knew he was an amazing player. I just wanted to see somebody else win because it isn't fun to watch a tournament when you're like, well, let's see who comes in second this time, knowing Complexity is always going to win. So I'm really excited for this game because I don't think there's going to be a team that just runs through everybody through the entire game. I don't see that happening because the best team on paper right now would probably be Optic Gaming because they have an amazing OBJ player, three of the best slayers in the game. One of them can be sitting in a corner doing nothing, and the other two players can slay out most pro teams. But watching
Sure.
them at Columbus, you kind of realized, especially on Friday and Saturday, that they're not bulletproof. They're a good team, but they're not bulletproof.
I don't think any team is bulletproof in this game, and that's just mostly coming from the fact that Sensor had such a good event, and I don't think he's that good of a player. But that's just where that's coming from. I don't think any team can be bulletproof. I think in Ghost, if you know how how to use certain things, like if you know where the best spots are and where you can see somebody, you're good. But the thing about Advanced Warfare is you can get in the best spot there is, but if somebody sees or feels a vibration or something that they've been hit, they're just double jumping out of there.
Yeah. No,
It's
I do think
definitely
the only team that
really
might be
interesting.
bulletproof is probably Prophecy with their Stim Cloak Smokes.
It's getting banned. They're fine. The
Bulletproof.
problem is they're not going to ban it in the middle of the league. I don't think so.
You don't think? Are
I
they
don't
going to
think it's going to
wait
happen.
an entire season? They're going to wait till the end of February to ban this? I wouldn't be surprised if they sorry, ban it over the holiday break. I think players are going to take Christmas off after the New Year. They're going to say, okay, New Year, new game.
If they were to do that, they'd have to announce it nowish. Are they having games over this break?
I would assume they would have a couple days off over Christmas.
Yeah. So if they are doing that, then they can say, okay, we're gonna tell you guys right now, we're banning cloak and stiff. So if you want to play, getting used to that, feel free to scrim and all that stuff. Just know that we are banning it, and we'd like you not to complain on Twitter.
Do you think they are going to ban it,
Because
though? Do you really
not
think?
eventually they will. I don't, once again, I don't think they're going to this season.
Because,
Because I think MLG is just so firm on things being like working in the season and there being not a lot of changes. That's why they don't have a lot of team changes going in the season.
yeah,
They want to make it as professional as possible. I mean, so I don't think they're going to ban it over the season. So
yeah. Well,
because MLG's
I don't know if
MLG's
you've,
trying to turn a new leaf. This is fucking okay.
okay.
Go for it.
I don't know if you've seen on Twitter lately, but there's just been a lot of pro players either tweeting or releasing videos. Like, Fizzerp has, Parasite has, Eggs has. They've all said, especially with the latest patch, they said if you ban Cloak and Stim, that this game is going to become a lot like Ghosts again. It's going to be ASM ones everywhere, and there's going to be no way to beat it, really. It's going to turn into a one-gun game where everybody's just sitting in corners waiting for somebody to run by. Yes, there's dash jumping and double jumping, but the players with good gun skill are still able to get that kill. They're going to find their spots, and they're going to get the kill. If what those players say is true, I don't have as much knowledge as those players because, I put as much time into Call of Duty Ghosts as players put into Call of Duty Ghosts in 1 week. I just think
Yeah,
that
sure.
some of the players' input is being taken into consideration. I think if they ban Cloak and Stim, I could see it becoming a lot staler of a game. I could see just using the ASM ones in search, maybe run 2 ASM ones, 2 BALs in your respawn game modes.
You think any time in this game we're going to see subs? I mean, obviously we're seeing subs, but on a consistent level.
I still think squads are going to want to play together as much as possible. They are. There's going to be situations where subs
No,
come
I
into
mean like
play.
submachine guns. That's what
Oh,
I mean.
submachine guns.
Yeah, my bad.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about the whole
Yeah, yeah,
substitute
yeah,
players like
yeah.
last week again. Submachine guns, absolutely. The pros say that subs feel a lot better now. There's they always have to complain about something, but the general consensus is the ASM-1 is a good gun. There was another sub that I know Sharp and a couple other players were talking about. There's a second sub,
K5.
the K5, that said that could be a viable gun. You probably wouldn't see it too much, especially later on in the game. We saw Rambo pull out the MP7 at COD Champs and Black Ops 2. I think it'll be something like that. You'll see that gun every once in a while used by just an obscure player in an obscure time.
Um, what was I thinking? Do you think there's ever going to be a time, or do you think the ASM1 is doing this now? Or do you remember when the Bison was absolutely buffed and like crazy? And then MLG like didn't change anything for like a month. They're like, oh wait, oh, yeah, this is happening. We're gonna ban that. Do you think that's ever gonna happen this year
It's bound
with
to happen.
Sledgehammer?
It's bound to happen at some point because as much input as Sledgehammer has had in the league so far, like with pushing uplink as a game mode, MLG does make all of the final decisions on how it's played competitively. I think MLG will, if they feel something should be banned, then it's going to end up getting banned. If they say, it's not an issue, it's more fun to watch this way, then some stuff won't get banned.
Yeah, but at the same time, I just feel like MLG, they don't have the money that Activision has. And if Activision is going to put like 1 million into the production and stuff, and I know obviously that's a lot, and they're never going to put 1 million into production of an event.
Never say never.
MLG is kind of, yeah, MLG is kind of just like at their hand. So if Sledgehammer says, okay, well, we will make it a $3 million pool, and we will pay, and we will make all of the money $3 million, no buying and stuff. It will support everyone. Um, we will feel you as long as you guys do what we say, you're good. I feel like at some point we're gonna see that, and because Sledgehammer, when they say that they're talking to the players, I feel like they're talking to MLG, and they assume MLG knows what's best, but honestly, the players know what's best. So,
I will disagree with you there. I think the players, like Sledgehammer, Sledgehammer had a Rambo on as a competitive consultant for the game, correct?
yeah.
So, I do think the players, when Sledgehammer was looking to get a feel for the gameplay and how the gameplay would work in a competitive setting, then definitely they talked to the players. They brought a couple teams out to play. They brought Team Caliber to play early. They brought Optic to play early. So as far as gameplay and functionality goes, they definitely listen to the players there. When it comes to rule sets, map rotations, things like that, they're definitely talking to MLG, and I do think MLG knows better there. MLG gets a lot of flack and a lot of hate for things they do wrong, and sure, they've had screw-ups, they've done a few things wrong, but they've also done a lot right. Without MLG, there is no league, there is no COD Champs. Most of the tournaments are not happening. There's no money in competitive Call of Duty, or competitive Counter-Strike, or competitive Halo. There might have been another company that replaced MLG, but then everybody would just be complaining about that company for doing the exact same things MLG is doing.
Oh
Simple
yeah, no,
things.
I'm not discrediting MLG with the way that they're doing a great job, but continue. So,
Yeah, like things like the Pro Point system, when that got brought in last year. MLG was crucified. They were put up on the cross, and they were taken down, flipped upside down, put on the cross again, and then tied to 4 horses, sent in different directions. The Pro Point system is fantastic now. They haven't changed it a whole lot. The amount of points given at tournaments is inflated this year, but I think what that is going to do is really put a separation between the professional teams and the amateur teams. You're going to
I
see the
think you
best
also see.
players have the most
I
pro
think
points.
Yeah, I think that was also kind of a push to make players stream more. I think it was kind of to say, yeah, well, you're not going to be able to get into the pool play if you don't have this many pro points. So in order to get those pro points, you're going to have to grind.
Yeah,
So I think that's also just a smart move by MLG there.
yeah, absolutely. Like MLG, they've done a ton of things right. They do get
Yeah.
a lot of hate, and I
I think
am
they do
one.
more right than wrong, no doubt.
Yeah, and I have been one that just threw him under the bus, saying MLG, screw you, you guys mess everything up. Especially Columbus when I kept getting booted off the stream, even though I had
And you still have
ad
the
block
right.
disabled. I'm still salty about that, but it's all good. I do like MLG. They do have a great handle on everything.
Okay, so I'm just looking at stats right now, and this kind of just jumping ships here. But I'm looking at the KDs, and I know KD isn't obviously everything. I'm not saying that it is, but when you see KD, you're seeing how many kills or how smart a player is.
Yeah.
So when I see that Happy has a 1.54 KD overall,
Oh my god.
I am like
Oh my
peeing myself because
god.
that's absolutely crazy.
Wow.
And the next person is Apathy with a 1.41, and then Enable, which is kind of a surprise. And then you look at the bottom, and then you see Embos at the third to bottom
What's his
with
KD?
0.83.
0.83.
Yeah.
It's a little low, but he is OBJ, so you can cut him a bit of slack there. I
Yeah,
would
for sure.
prefer to
And
see him more in the
you
point
see
nine.
OBJs. You see OBJs over here, but if you look at TP, he is at a 1.12.
Yeah,
So,
what's Nate shot at?
oh God. He is at a 0.92. And then BL Fire is at a 0.72. Also,
Yeah.
completely off topic to anything having to do with Call of Duty, but do you play Trivia Crack?
No.
Oh my God, I'll talk to you about that later. But
Cool.
okay, um, so TP with a 1.12 KD, that's pretty crazy. And he's still an OBJ at heart. Obviously, he's doing more slaying
Yeah.
with that kind of KD, but he he's not like averaging 30 kills like Clayster is. He's averaging 28, which obviously is a lot. But on the other hand, if he was strictly if he was strictly slaying, I think he could be averaging like 35. And I know that's a lot. That's even more, but
Well,
that's besides the point.
we also have to compensate because this is a much faster game, and there are a lot more kills going down. Like in Ghost, if somebody got a 30 bomb, everybody's like, "Oh my god, that was a really good game." If they got a 40 bomb, that was absolute insanity, and no people were going like that. That never happens. In this game, I feel like kill totals are almost doubled. I think.
Uh,
I think on
Probably
the
close to
on
that.
the it's kind of a weird scale because I think the average player kills should be between 25 and 35 in this game. That should just be kind of your base. Everybody should get around there, except maybe your
Are you
OBJ
saying
who can be
OBJ's? Oh, okay. Yeah, you just
OBJs maybe be more the 20 to 30 level there. But I think they're the high kill games, things like 50 bombs and 60 bombs. I think those are the new kind of benchmarks for outstanding games. 50 bombs is when Looney got his 50 bomb. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, that was amazing." Then when Huke dropped a 60 bomb online, and everybody just freaked out. They're like, "This can't ever happen." Blah blah blah. So I think the kill totals, that's going to be an interesting thing to see over the cycle of this game because every Call of Duty before it, 25 kills was your pretty much average for teams. I think that's going to jump up quite a bit. And I think that's a statistic that I'm going to want to follow through the course of this game.
Yeah. And it's sad to see Slacked. I'm a bit of a fanboy of Slacked. He has a 1.04 KD, so that's pretty good. He's definitely above so many players. He's above Embos, he's above Nade Shy, he's above Karma, he's above all these people, but he's not going to be going to COD champs.
Yeah,
And I just think that that system is just kind of whack, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. And do you think online plays more or less of a factor in this game than it did in Gus?
oh, I don't know right now. I think it's still too early in the game to kind of get a good feel for that, because ghosts, I think right at the start of that game, people were like, "Oh, the guy with host is at the disadvantage because of lag comp," and then something in the back end got patched, and then the guy with host was just invincible. I think it's we're still too early into the game. We're only a month in. It's too early for me to make a definitive statement about that.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna like try to like make Happy feel bad, make Happy feel sad. Uh, um,
Boo.
but I don't think a player that's not connection, whose connection is not amazing and is not host, could be getting 1.4 KD average.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion because Scumpy has a 1.2. Scumpy has a fine connection. It's not miraculous. And Scumpy is one of the best players to touch the six,
Yeah.
if not the best. And Crib 6 has a 1.01. So, I don't know. I just think that these are pretty interesting. I think that the stats are a very big part of what you see and what makes all these rankings and the standings of the league make sense, honestly. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm I'm not surprised when I see Happy's number one and Aware is number one in the league. So
Yeah, you called it. You're smarter than I am. Congratulations.
that's true. I'm not gonna argue with you on that one.
Oh, that's real nice.
And then Sender's doing pretty well. He's looks like he's found I don't want to say a home because Aware's not a very big organization, but I think he's probably better off with these people than with Noble. So I think
Yeah.
it was probably for the best.
Yeah, hopefully he will kind of realize that and not do what so many young COD players do and just switch teams because ooh, shiny. So
Yeah.
I do hope he does stay there, stay with the organization, stay with the players. And I think that's something that we'll probably see a lot more of this game. I don't know if it's me just being naive and thinking that the attitudes have changed that much more going into this game, but I do honestly believe that it does seem like the COD scene has matured a lot in even just the past 3 months. Like with the self destruction of EG, a lot of players kind of realized the greatest, like the dynasty in Call of Duty. They reigned hell for a game and a half. If they broke up because of stupid insecurities and things like that, then it could happen to any team. That
Yeah, and I think that's also one of the problems with COD, and I think that's going to be one of the things that holds it back. You don't see like hockey teams. You don't see their starting lineups being, or at least you don't see it often. You don't see their starting lineups just being disappeared. You don't see all the defensemen leaving the Canucks and going to the Rangers. If you guys don't watch hockey, you don't see LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love leaving the Cavaliers and going to the Lakers. Because there's certain cap, like a salary cap. I know that might not apply to Call of Duty because salaries are so low already.
yeah,
But I think if they grow to a point where you're paying players $1,000 a week, I think, which they might be doing already, but I could be wrong.
I don't think any teams actually would have pay, or would need to pay that much in salary at this point. I think the only
But
team that might would be Envious. But I see where you're going with the statement.
yeah,
I'm just being kind of a dick and
no,
poking
no, no,
holes.
no. Completely makes sense. And Hex even said that he doesn't pay his players. I mean, if you're
Exactly.
looking at money just from just from playing and just for being there, Curse is paying you more than Optic Gaming is. But if you look at
What Optic
what,
Gaming does for you, they
yeah,
provide you with
everything.
they provide you with a pedestal to get 1 million people to watch your YouTube video or have 10,000 people in your stream at any given time. So if you really put the work in, you get as much out of Optic as you put in. I forget who said that exactly, but it's such a true quote. I think it was actually Kingdom in one of his videos that said that. But you get as much out of Optic as you put in. If you put in the time to grind YouTube videos and to grind streaming, then you could make a lifelong career out of it.
And I think that's something that always keeps Nation from being a B team. They aren't grinding. The YouTube, they aren't streaming constantly. So they're always going to be that B team, no matter if they, or at least in people's eyes, they're going to be. No matter if they win COD champs, they're still going to be the B team if they're not streaming constantly. They're not
They're not Nate,
uploading
Shot, and
to
Scump.
YouTube. Yeah, okay. Well, if they don't have 2 million subscribers, just between two of them, forgetting Crim6, who has over 100K,
Yeah.
probably closing in on like 500K because I checked on him like last month because he's freaking crazy and he's Crim6 and he's great.
You Algerian hibernating monkeys.
Oh my god, I think those are the greatest intros probably on YouTube.
Oh, I miss
It's
Sharks and
the
Magundas.
what up, bullet heads? He still says that, except for in his like troll videos. In his like vlogs, he still says that.
Yeah.
So Krim now has for the last 30 days he's gained 50K subscribers. He's at 150K. He's gonna reach 200,000 in 30 days at least. So he is on the road to glory, at least. In a year and a half, he's projected to be at 1 million if he stays with Optic.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I don't know if you're into like Optic Nation as a channel and what it used to be as a sniping, but they've been a lot more active. But it's mostly been Hex that's been uploading to that channel.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing his videos recently?
Yeah, I have.
Like they're far apart. They're like a week and 2 weeks far
Apart.
apart. But when I get a notification on my phone that Optic Nation just uploaded, I'm like, well, shit, I'm gonna leave school now. And then to find out it's 12 Days of Christmas video, it's a little bit disappointing, but just kidding, I didn't leave school.
Yeah.
But I think that they could grow as an org bigger than what they are now, especially when they partner with Red Bull in the next month, officially at least.
Officially. They've been unofficially partnered for months now.
Officially?
Unofficially.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to be partnered. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
real. The fact that Red Bull hasn't announced it yet is kind of surprising to me. I don't know why that is that they haven't, but they haven't.
Yeah. Well, there have been slip ups and things like that. But we are closing in on an hour. So I just want to bring up one more thing real quick. Because we did
Oh,
have
do it.
Neil on from last week from Dream Team. Great guy. He was talking about because they released San Goku when he was on the show. But after he
And
left the
Hazard, I
show,
think, was
after
also
he left
released,
the
but
show,
that,
yeah, he released Hazard after the
yeah, it
show.
was.
And they picked up Octane and Stringo. So,
Yeah, which are two very big AMs. Like, they probably have the best amateur team there is. And I'm not saying that bias, even though I probably am, but they probably have the best team. And you know that they're legit when they have a COD Sportsopedia page. So, they're legit now.
Yeah, for sure. So, of course, because Neil will always have a special place in our hearts, and Dream Team will always have a special place in our hearts as the first guest of COD Weekly, we do wish them the best. We wish them the best
Yeah,
in the any AM
sure.
leagues that they join, and we hope to see them in season 2.
Yeah, and hopefully, and I know that this isn't as good as the MLG season, hopefully that UMG season as well, which we didn't really get to, but we haven't really gotten the details. So next Thursday, when they're supposed to release everything tomorrow, which is kind of inconvenient, but next Thursday we'll probably talk about that more. Maybe predictions of what teams are going to get into that. Obviously, we don't know all the AND teams, but we know a couple of
Yeah.
them. So yeah, let's do a quick outro. Just talking about summing things up and just saying goodbye.
Yeah.
You can go first.
All right, guys. Thanks again to everybody who stopped by. That includes at Rostermania on Twitter or Airflying2KOps. Great guy. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Rostermania. He's been lurking this whole stream. I appreciate it. Hopefully, you'll come on the show someday when we're big and bad enough for you. Uh, thanks to at Goalie TV on Twitter. He is the producer for the Sticks, and he has been helping me out quite a bit behind the scenes on this show. So those are my
Yeah,
two
shut
shout
up.
outs for the episode. Make sure to follow myself on Twitter. The name is right below me there. It's at MrPropoutine. I will be casting an AM tournament this weekend. Hopefully it goes well. If it does, I might get to cast it a LAN in the new year. So make sure to come out and support me. If you don't, I don't love you. Just kidding.
I'll be there.
If you're here, I kind of love you. Like I love my pet cats.
Oh,
They're named Calvin and Hobbes. How could you not love those names?
that's a fair point. And what's up, the YO kid? But you should definitely follow if you haven't already. Um, so I'm Azubius. Twitter is right below here, right there, there. Maybe it's higher. I don't know.
Yeah, you were fine.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. Those of you that came. Obviously, we're still kind of small time, and we're growing it up. But to have 7 viewers so early is kind of awesome. I don't know. Um, Thank you to the people that are helping us out behind the scenes. Big shout out to GFX James who designed the thing behind us. Unfortunately, he couldn't make something in 10 minutes for us, but that's all right. um, uh, Ian or King Wilcox or Ebolian. I don't know. He's not on right now, but shout out to him. Follow him on Twitter. Follow Perpetuity on Twitter. I'm Azubius. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you.
We do have to wish King Wilcox a speedy recovery from that horrendous sheep attack. So get well soon.